a session from ICIWorld on how to promote your website and search engine optimization and more. It's also going to include a portion of understanding and how to use the powers of the internet. And this is a session that we run once per month. It's actually recorded as well, and we send it to the members who have attendees who have listened in on today's session. We're going to suggest that everyone subscribe to the social media at ICIWorld.com, and by subscribing to the social media, you can become familiar with all the things that we're doing to help everyone in the industry. Our goal is to help everyone in the industry to connect using the powers of the industry, of the internet, in the industry to connect to make money in real estate, either showing properties and helping people. And one of the reasons we're doing this is we know that it can be anywhere from $300 to $1,000 a month. Some people we know are actually paying that to do some search engine optimization. And we've attended some world search engine conventions, and we're actually going to share the information we've learned in some of these search engine conventions. And one of them, we actually spent $4,000 attending. And the reason we did that, we felt, well, if we have 1,000 members, maybe we can help all our members kind of learn some of these tools, and we can assist them so that the membership in ICIWorld, it's sort of like an automobile type club membership where you pay for one thing and then we get all these other services are all included in your membership. And so today's session is a culmination of being to these World Search Engine conventions and also being on the internet for basically 20 years, and we're going to give some of the highlights. It is impossible to cover everything that's needed for search engine optimization in just one session, but what we can do is we can compile a lot of the things and put them into one session so that you can follow up on all of these items at a later time. And so we have that available for members afterwards as well. And so there are 7 things that we learned at that World Search Engine Convention. Actually, we're going to add it into 8 things, 7 there, and that we have the 8th item is going to be covered today as well. So if you mark on your papers numbers 1 to 8 underneath each other, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 underneath each other, we're going to be covering the 8 basic items that we've sort of learned at that World Search Engine Convention that literally cost us $4,000 to go to, and you're going to get the benefit of that today. And we've learned from members, we continue to learn from members and from technical support people on how to promote these things, and it does take some time and effort and concentration and to try to do this to kind of help everyone take advantage of these things. But the people that want to take control of it a little bit themselves, they actually can do it, and we're going to kind of go through and do that today with you. Okay, I'm also signing up another computer here so I can be doing things later there for you as well. It's all cutting edge technology. We appreciate your input and feedback, and with our pledges, no one should be going longer than 90 days without triggering leads, either off their website or from any of the things we do on ICIWorld. And if you're not triggering leads, we have a minimum standard quality of membership, you could say, responsibilities on your part that you can be doing to look after what it takes to make money using the powers of the internet for the real estate industry. And so you measure your success. Are you either doing deals or generating leads every 90 days? Otherwise, you should give us a call, and we can immediately identify, literally within a few minutes, believe it or not, what should be given attention to on your part, because there is a responsibility on your part to look after things. One of the things we suggest you should do is really promote with a passion. And the reason is because if you can get one person coming to your website and they call you on $1 million property, and they end up buying it through you, and you make $50,000 or $30,000, then that is a benefit to you. And real estate actually provides the highest return on investment of any industry on the internet. And so that means that, you know, with one lead, it's like finding a gold nugget. And we often refer to that information as the gold on the internet. And one little piece of information can make you $10, $20, $30, $40,000. One little piece of information can make you $5,000 in referral fees. The best one we know of is a gentleman who's now done 15 referrals from his website, and that has actually triggered $45,000 in income for doing 15 referrals, and that's a total of 75 minutes of his time. So if that doesn't get your attention, I don't know what will, but that's the kind of things one lead can do to help make salespeople a lot of money. And this is your business. A website is your office building on the internet. It's almost as if you built a real building at the corner of Yonge and Steeles, and you're looking for all the people in the area to come into your real estate office. That's really what your internet site and your mobile sites and your websites, that's what it should be doing. It should be attracting people and providing services to those people so that they can come back again in the future and continue to either look for listings, help other people, consult your website for resources. We're going to cover a lot of resources we recommend you have on your website so that you become a center for real estate resources and information in your community. And so you could promote it with the passion daily, and I've often said at the beginning of the springtime, go out and walk every business in your community. Walk it. Get some exercise, get your running shoes on, do it an hour a day for whatever it takes in your own community, and go into every business and give them your business card and invite them to come and talk to you. So you're going to hear me suggesting how you can be promoting your website in 40 different ways. Search engine optimization is just one way, but it's not the only way, and depending on the competition that you have in your marketplace, if it's high competition, you will have to get into pay-per-click. If it's not high competition, you can get to the top of the search engine literally very, very, very quickly. But you can also be promoting it in many other different ways by putting a face with your business card to your website, by handing out your business card, walking down the street, talking to the grocery store owner, the hardware store clerk, and the other office and medical buildings that are in your area, and go in and just say you happen to be in the area and you wanted to make sure everybody's aware that you have a great website. And we're going to show you how to promote your website. We're going to show you how to hand out your business card and that you should have your website on. And get excited about that because you've got some great information that other brokers don't have. You've got listings that other brokers don't have by virtue of having exclusive listings as well as MLS listings as well. Now, we're going to show you some websites, how to optimize your website using meta tags and keywords and things like that. And also links to listings is absolutely a key. And we're suggesting it's such a key that we begin in a moment by showing you the things that you should have optimized on your website first. Because if you have a website with no listings and people go to it and you're not getting calls, that could be one reason why you're not getting calls. The second reason could be you might have some listings on your website, a few, but if that doesn't satisfy the people that are calling, then they're going to move on very, very quickly. You could have more listings on your website. However, is it possible that if the addresses are showing, which most, I would say 90% of the brokers out there, maybe more, are showing addresses and those are the only listings they have, that means that sometimes people could be seeing the address of your listings, and if they see the address first, is it possible that they might drive by the property first even before calling you? And then if they see the sign on the property as they drive by, is it possible they might call the other broker who's got that listing and they end up doing a deal with that other broker, and that other broker doesn't even call you back to say thank you because he doesn't even know. And yet you've spent the money, the time, the care, and to build a website, to get your domain names, to spend all the time and effort to attend to how to promote your website, and then only to trigger the lead off the internet that goes to the listing broker who's got that particular listing. So we're going to suggest that it's important, we think, to have MLS listings on your website. As a matter of fact, we install the IDX link from your local real estate board if it is available. We actually install that link for you, and so that people can search the MLS on your website.
Hold on
one second, we're getting other things coming online here.
And we're going to have
sound on that one there, and that one there. Where did it go? There we go. Okay, that'll make it a little easier. And so we're going to suggest that it's important to have those links to your local real estate board and to MLS listings. It's the best way still to sell real estate in the world today, but it's not the only way. And there's other ways that you can be marketing real estate by having exclusive listings on your website, which now gives your website a competitive edge over all the other brokers in the marketplace, because you can have exclusive listings on your website that are not on real estate boards as well. And we'll show you how to do that. And you can get those from a number of different sources, some of these links. And of course, one of those links happens to be ICIWorld, which we'll cover in a moment. And it's very easy to get them to be installed on your website. Now, we also suggest that you have other, you log into your website a minimum of once per month. Some of the items we covered today is virtually a checklist. It's a checklist of how we've been helping brokers over the last 20 years, and we see the ones that are not making money, and then they actually sort of give up on the internet, some people, all because one reason was they never logged into their website, and we recommend a minimum of every 30 days. When you log into your website, it's almost like having an operating service on the internet, but you've got to check to make sure that it's working. We've gone to websites that people said, oh my God, it doesn't even show up the website, and that's because the domain name that they had actually expired. The problem is everybody's getting thousands of emails, and there's only one reminder sometimes for a renewal of your website domain name, and they never saw it. So the website goes dead. That means that everything is not working, and then when you try to get it back, somebody could actually steal, believe it or not, yes, steal your domain name, and they could be using it. And we've actually had people that have lost their domain name used by other people, and yet they've got it on their business cards, brochures, pamphlets, and all kinds of things. So that can be a real problem. Another thing we recommend for your domain names is you should mark this down. It should be on automatic renewal. If you don't put your domain names on automatic renewal and you're on holidays, you can actually end up losing your domain name to somebody else that ends up getting it. And God knows if it ever turns out to be a porno site, which got one Chamber of Commerce website expired name, and they actually had that for a porno site. Can you imagine? That's just terrible things that can kind of happen out there. Another one was a police department. Their domain name expired, and it turned out that the critics of that police department grabbed that domain name, and that's now their domain name. You go to the police department, and bingo, all you see is the criticisms of the police department. So those are things that can happen if you don't renew your domain name. So the importance of today is to cover a number of different things to help you make money on the internet along with optimization. Now, we recommend that your website should have at least 5 photos on your website. If you want your listings to be shared with other brokers throughout the internet, I mean, what's more powerful than to have one listing on one website or to have your listing on 1,000+ websites? Then we recommend that you have at least 5 photos, especially on the websites that we're about to show you from ICIWorld. If you do not, other brokers will not agree to do handshakes with you. They want, when other brokers are displaying information on their website and your listings come up, they want your listings to look really, really nice too. And if they're not, because you only got 1 photo or no photos, next thing you know, they can block you from having your listings appear on their website. And next thing you know, you're not getting as many calls and you don't think the internet's working for you. And it's all because you didn't have at least 5 photos on your website. That's one of the reasons why we have a special exclusive page that shows exclusive listings with 5 or 4 basic pieces of information in a listed form, much like classified ads in a newspaper. That's a little different from having photos on an individual listing. We also suggest that you program every one of your buyers once to receive new listings from your website. So if you're in a community, or if you do an open house this weekend, 10 people come in and 5 are working with other brokers, you can actually agree to supply them all with the new listings in the area. And then 2 weeks from now, they can actually get a listing from your website automatically emailed to them. Those are the websites supplied by ICIWorld for you. They automatically send out new listings that match the criteria of what people are looking for. And so 2 weeks from now at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, someone gets a copy of a listing that matches the description of what that person is looking for, whether it's residential, whether it's commercial. that person calls their colleague and say, listen, why don't we go see this house tonight at 7 o'clock or make arrangements to see that commercial building sometime this week. And then you get a call to say, listen, can you set up an appointment for us to go see this particular listing? We just got it from your website. So if you do open houses, for instance, and residential, you should be programming every single one of those people coming through that open house and offer them the ability to send them out listings absolutely free, no obligation. And if you did 2 or 3 open houses, you're going to have 20 or 30 people receiving new listings for that area. Bingo, somebody calls you. Next thing you know, you could be showing one house here, one house there, and if they like it, bingo, you're about to make $5,000 to $10,000. So that's the kind of thing that you can do by programming buyers' wants to receive new listings. And when it comes to a resource center, yes, we recommend that you have a resource center on your website. And a resource center can be all the things that people who are coming into your market area, who are moving to your city, your town, your region, all the things that maybe they would like to know if they were moving to your area. For instance, the city hall, where do they pay their taxes? How about municipal services? Who do they order for hydro and gas and heat? Where is the police department? Where's the community centers? Where's the churches? Where's the schools? Where's the hospitals? All of those things we recommend you have in a resource center on your website. You can even link to an events page that's on some major community page that lists all the upcoming events, the little festivals going on every week in your town. You could have a moving checklist on your website, so if people move, what do they have to think about? How about calculating lawyers' fees, land transfer taxes? All of these things should be resources on your website, and they can be added very, very easily, and you can build them over the years and have a beautiful resource. So now, when you're on your Facebook page and when you're doing your different social media, you let people know. If somebody asks a question about something, how can I find out about this, that, or the other thing? Say, well, it's on my website. Click on resources. Bingo, and there's going to be a link there to all these wonderful kinds of things. And you can even tell people all the different kinds of links that you have on your website. And when they start visiting it, when they're going to be in a market for real estate, or they might even know that you've got such an extensive, comprehensive website, that they will start recommending it to other people. And that's what you kind of want to get going along the way. And of course, if you're in a smaller community, it's good to know people in your area. That's another reason why we suggest you visit all the businesses, walk them, hand them out a business card, tell them you're in real estate, and then tell them what you've got on your website that can be helping them in their everyday affairs in real estate. So one of the things we recommend, you definitely got to have listings on your website. Without listing, it's like driving traffic to an empty store. If you have a shoe store and you don't have any shoes, yes, you got a shoe store, but you're not going to sell anything. So driving traffic to your website is important, but first, you've really kind of got to have information, listings on your website. And we're suggesting commercial and residential. Why? Residential brokers say, well, why do I need commercial? And commercial brokers are saying, why do I need residential? Well, much like a doctor who is a general practitioner, and if somebody comes into his office and has something wrong with them, and if it happens to be a heart problem, that doctor is immediately going to be referring you to get to the emergency ward or emergency department, or refer you to a heart doctor. And so doctors do referrals, and so should realtors. Realtors can do referrals. It's a simple link. The people that own $1, $2, and $10 million buildings also own $1, $2, and $10 million houses. And the same thing is true for residential. A lot of people own different kinds of commercial real estate. Not that they do, but they could. However, when you have a website that is on the internet, people from all over the world can actually end up being on your website. Over 3.5 billion people using the internet. They could, any one of them can actually end up being on your website. And even with the websites now that we have from ICIWorld that are all mobile websites, people can be on your website on their mobile phone no matter where they are in the world. And that goes for 3.5 billion people. So it's very exciting to get out here to figure out how to make all this website business work. And we're going to kind of help you all along the way as we are learning as well ourselves. Now, if someone calls you on a $1 million, let's say, commercial property, and I'm going to use, say, London, Ontario, I don't care if you're in the United States or Canada, you can do a referral. You can contact that broker in London, Ontario, who's nowhere near you, and say, listen, I have a lead for you. Is a 25% referral fee okay with you? That's a 5-minute phone call, and it's averaging $3,000 to $10,000. The same thing with a commercial broker. If somebody calls you on a $1 million or $2 million property on Lakeshore Road in Oakville, you can contact that broker and say, I have a lead for you. Is a 25% referral fee okay with you? So you can be doing referrals, and you should be generating referrals off your website. In fact, this is part of our Retired Brokers program. And whether you qualify for it or not depends on your answer to the following question. Would you mind doing the odd 5-minute referral that makes you $3,000 to $10,000? And that's what you should be doing from these websites. But if your website is not promoted, if you don't tell anybody about it and you keep it a secret, then you might as well not even have a website in the first place. So that's what this session is about today, to let you know this is your business on the internet, and you've got some special things that are on your website that other brokers don't have by virtue of having exclusive listings as well as MLS listings and a major resource center as well that will provide information for people in the area. Now, we have another thing that we do, and that is the concept of hiding addresses. If someone sees an address on your website to a listing, again, repeating, this person could actually drive by the property first without calling you, and that means that some of your leads are actually generated from your website, but they're going to other people, not to you. So we have a special way at ICIWorld of working with websites to actually hide the addresses, and so that people have to contact you for more information. So we're suggesting that it is really exciting to be able to have, almost like classified ads in a newspaper, to have those kind of classified ads on your website in a way that you get all the calls. Instead of having people being able to click on some of these, they actually have to call you for more information. And that's a big deal today. If anybody's listening to this in the future by way of video, that's a big deal. That's the difference right there of triggering leads from your website and not triggering leads from your website. Could be that one concept of how to structure and hide the addresses, as we do from ICIWorld. If for any reason you don't want to hide the addresses, you don't have to, but your customers will be able to click through and get the other brokers, in which case a lot of people will dig till they get the listing broker because they feel they're going to get information faster, quicker, better, and easier, and maybe get the property cheaper, even though that's not true necessarily. That's some of the things that people think out there. And so you want to have them kind of deal through you. And all we can ever hope for as realtors in the business is have the first opportunity to work with someone. The stats show that 75% of all people who are searching for properties for the first time that get a hold of a broker and develop a relationship with them end up working with that broker, because they don't want 10 or 20 brokers calling them at all different times with different properties. They like to work through one eventually, and that's what happens. So you want to provide great service by getting back to the first person that inquires on a property on your website, because if you're the second, third, or fourth, there's someone else might already done a good job to explain the situation of the real estate industry, that it's better to work through one particular person, develop a good business relationship with them where that person provides their integrity, expertise, and honesty to help them achieve a good result in real estate. Now, what are some of the links that you could have on your website that trigger leads? Well, there's some of them right there, just to give you an example. And now this works for the GTA and the Toronto area, but it works for Vancouver, it works for Miami, it works for Los Angeles and San Diego, Atlanta, it doesn't matter, Chicago, it works for all over. You can have these kinds of links on your website that can trigger leads. Would people be interested in power of sales? So if you were talking to an investor, and you know there's lawyers in touch with investors and all kinds of investors in real estate, would they be interested in power of sales? You can announce and talk to people. Listen, we've got power of sales on our website. We have commercial properties. We have residential properties. If you're talking to a restaurant owner, tell them you've got over 200 restaurants, buyers and sellers on your website. That's exciting for them because that's their business. They live it every single day. But you've got to let them know about it. If they don't know about it, no wonder they're not calling you. They don't know about it. So you should tell them about it. If you're dealing with a builder, and a classic situation was sitting down at a builder's construction association meeting with 6 builders sitting at a table, and one salesperson hands out a business card and says, visit my website, I'm in real estate. But the other one hands out a business card and says, listen, I also have a website, I'm also in real estate, but by the way, I happen to have 800 infill development sites, land ready to go, ready to build single-family homes, condos, and townhouses, and they're all listed right on my website. You watch those builders, they're all going to want your business card. So in other words, you have to understand that it is what is on your website that is bringing people to your website, not just the fact you can have your domain name on a bench driving down the street and it's a bench in a park, www.johnsmith.com. That doesn't turn people on. People today, of course, are overwhelmed with information. They're suffering information overload. Everybody's just doesn't have time for these things. But if you tell them power of sales and or some of these other things that you have, whatever the person could be interested in, and you tell them you've got these things on your website, FISBOs, etc., bingo, they could be interested. And also that they can also search the MLS. So if they're doing both, searching the MLS, that's good, that's still good. But then if they happen to also search the exclusive listings and you get the call, that's the call that you want. You want them to call you so that you have a chance to develop a good business relationship with them. And many, of course, end up developing long-term friend relationships as friends for the rest of their life once given an opportunity, because of that's the way our business works. We develop friendships for life. Let's move on. Now, links to listings is a key, the haves and the wants. We're going to look at some of these sample websites, how we're recommending it be structured. And there's 6 links on the average ICIWorld site. Now, the interesting thing about this is these links can go on every website in the world. It is not restricted to the websites that we supply from ICIWorld. You can actually order these links from ICIWorld once you become a member. We do have a special on today. Actually, we have a Black Friday special on today for people that have never had a special from ICIWorld. But it is exclusive information for your website, and it's the content that's going to trigger the leads. Now, we had one broker who joined our service and didn't realize he was getting calls. He says, Gary, I've been getting calls all year long, people asking me for message numbers, and I didn't know what they were calling about. And this broker has done 3 deals through our service and didn't realize when he got a call on a message number, it was actually off the ads that were on his website from ICIWorld. And because they're all structured so that the customer actually has to call you for more information. So yes, it is like having the classified ads of a newspaper on your website, and in a way that you get the calls. I don't think that the Toronto Star would do that, but maybe I could talk to them. I don't know. Anybody could try to talk to them. It just doesn't work. We're the only ones that seem to have done it in such a way, and it's so unique. It's so wonderful, triggering leads for everyone. It's just a matter of if you don't get a call, it's not because of the ads. It's because you may have little or no traffic to your website, or you have the links so buried on your website that people don't even get to it, because the listings actually trigger the leads. And we're going to show you sample websites right now. Let's click on this and see what we get here. Okay, I'm going to go to a few samples of thousands, and we got thousands of websites created by the company that we're working with for hosting. And I'll just click on any one of these. I'll just click on this one here, TorontoRealEstateHelp.com. And this is, I'm not talking about the design of the website. The designs of the website are all wonderful, and they can be in many, many different fashions, shapes and sizes and looks and all of that. In fact, I've got some of them I'm going to go through just to give you an example. There's a sample of one website. Here's a sample of another website. There's another one in Florida, for instance. Now, the pictures on the front can all be changed to anything that you want. So you can change the picture to anything that you want so that you don't use one of the standard pictures that sometimes comes with the website. And this is just an example of some of the different websites that you can see coming up here. These websites, by the way, are $16.50, and they're actually free for 1 month to kind of get started. Well, we're recommending that you have this residential button and this commercial button on your website. The residential button, and basically all brokers we've ever suggested it to, they kind of like this idea rather than just having one button called listings and then link to the MLS, and that's all you have. You're very limited in that sense. This way you can have more buttons on your website that have more residential listings, such as this one here, residential. But I'm going to show you how the MLS button works first. Actually, in this particular case, they've made it so that you have to log in, or not log in, but you have to fill in a form first before you see the MLS. The thinking is, if you want to see the MLS, yes, you might end up calling other brokers, but I'd like to at least know who it was that wants to go there so that you have an opportunity to talk to them. This provides the opportunity to talk to them. There may be some people that may not click on this, and that's sort of, how do you know how many do and how many you don't? That's a good question. That's still no answer for, but maybe there's a way to figure it out. The other thing is that when you go to residential, there will be other choices that they can click on. So if they happen to click on this, which comes from this particular website, you're actually going to see listings kind of come up on this website. And then if somebody happens to maybe click on this particular one here, for instance, in this case, this is one of her listings. So her picture shows here, and it shows the address that you see right up here. In that case, it's her listing. But let's find one that is not her listing. 1 second, let's click on this Richmond Hill one here, which comes up. By the way, this is a website that is mobilized. Now, if I go down here, you see the prices going down, 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 and all of a sudden they go up. As soon as they go up, these are other brokers' listings to come up, because we always put your listings first. And I'm going to click on that right there. Hang on 1 second. Diane, can you handle this phone call here?
I sure can.
Diana, right here. Take that phone call. Okay. Here we go. And I'm going to now, I'm going to show you a listing here. And you notice you do not see the address of these particular listings here. Okay. So people would hopefully call Mary on this particular listing here. And there's different ways that you can see these listings. One of them is you can go right into the virtual tour and then actually see a nice slideshow presentation taking place. And this actually can occur right on your mobile phone as well. Let's just see how this looks. Actually, it's not showing there, so they're doing it in a little different way for the mobile phone. If you access it from the mobile, then it becomes mobilized. That shows you how that can look. So that can really trigger leads nicely for you as well. Okay, let's go up here. Let's go down and look at the exclusive ones, residential haves and wants. This is a button supplied by ICIWorld right here. And it shows that you are a member to a global real estate broker center of haves and wants. If anything interests you, give me a call. And again, if somebody happens to click on, let's say, something in Toronto, in this particular case, up comes the listings all sorted by price. People, generally speaking, will go immediately to their price range, immediately. And if they're interested in, let's say, one of these exclusive listings here, they are going to try to click on that number, and they cannot do so. This is triggering leads for brokers. If you have it. If you don't have it, you have no chance of triggering a lead. If you have it, it triggers a lead. So we have 1,000 brokers that all understand this and are doing it and love doing it. And the more we explore and get more and more brokers on here, the more options there are, more listings there are also that will maybe suit a person who is looking for that kind of property. And you'll notice this is coming for sale. You can't put this on a real estate board. So that's why we're getting into exclusive listings, which is the subject of a different seminar, which you can get on ICIWorld. The next one is December 29th. You can get that, and I'll just show you quickly where you can get that at the end of the year. If you go right up to our main page, and down at the bottom, you'll see on our seminar page, for instance, if you come down here, there's a webinar, Mastering the Powers of the Internet. And if you clicked on that, it'll actually show December 29th. That's another webinar that we run once per month as well. that goes over other powers of the internet. There's some of the other websites that you kind of see, again, having residential and commercial, and if I was to highlight the word commercial, come down here to Ontario Commercial, you'll see this can also be on your website. And people can choose keywords such as power of sales. This is what get excited about providing these kinds of things for people, because when they see these power of sales on your website, bingo, they're going to be interested in giving you a call and following up on some of these. And that's all we want to do in this business, is have an opportunity to help people and make a few bucks for a family to keep the food on the table kind of thing. Also, you can go by cities over here. People can search very, very quickly, and they can choose any city that they want that they could be interested in. And if they happen to click on this one right here, bingo, you click on it, all the properties in Brampton come up. Both buyers and sellers come up on this page. And people know that you're very, very well connected in here. And when they talk to you, tell them there's a very fast, quick, and easy way that they can actually even go to your website on their mobile phone and be searching these things as well. And if people want to see apartment buildings, bingo, they click on that. How would you like to have over 300 apartment buildings on your website, all in a way that you get the calls? That's exactly what's happening here. And we're trying to break this out to the industry to get them to understand how all that works. There's also links to business opportunities. And so if people are looking for hotels, motels, gas stations, you can have them all on your website. Again, all in a way that you get the calls. If somebody clicks on motels, bingo, up they come on the screen. Now, what else do you have? You also have choices of, for instance, we also have FSBOs that kind of come up. So if people click on FSBOs and they happen to go up here, they can actually pick a city they could be interested in. If I pick Collingwood, there's listings in Collingwood on the FSBOs. These have been placed by the public. Okay, so those listings trigger leads. Can't impress it enough that everyone should have these kind of listings on your website. And it's a simple case of just ordering them, and then we send the instructions to you by email, and you kind of go from there. Okay, let's just kind of leave that one page open and go back to the presentation. Okay, so those are the 6 links that you see from ICIWorld, exclusive information, etc. Now, reasons why you're not getting the leads: not structured properly, addresses are showing, traffic to the website, handshake's not up to date, missing listings, you do not realize it, and they're almost hidden. And also there's another one, if it's not framed properly. In other words, the listing should come up within your website with your information at the top and along the side, but not take a link to another page where they can see the URL. That's what we mean by framing. Now today, we're going to be saying things sometimes fairly steady and constant, and it's too hard to really let it sink in. The concept today is to give you a good feel of what it takes to really promote a website. It's not to have it like, you know, you got to get 100 out of 100 in passing grade and remember every single thing, because that's impossible today to remember all this stuff. So what you can do is say, yeah, it's important enough that I should restudy this 1, 2, 3, 4 times. In fact, we recommend that you take this particular session every single month until you are producing leads from your website. Why? Because it helps you make money, and you should be doing it. Now, there are some references. There's training videos at ICIWorld that you can click on. Training videos on the left. There's one, for instance, called Domain Names. It's video number 17, how to promote your website. There's actually videos on that. There's a website workshop as well. And you can play these videos if you go to our mobile site, ICIWorld.mobi. If you want, you can write that down. Everybody should have a pad of paper and a pencil and be taking notes as we go along. But ICIWorld.mobi actually has videos that you can listen to that talk about these kinds of things as well. If you're listening on your phone, whatever you do, make sure you are not using your data plan, because you could go through a video that takes up as much as a Blue Jays game, which is over a gig, just to watch a Blue Jays game. I found that out. I watched 3 games and I used up my 3 gigs right away just watching the game. So videos can take up a lot of stuff. Make sure you're on Wi-Fi when you're listening to any of those on your handheld devices if you do that. There's also things, other resources, and I'm going to go into this contact customer care here in a moment with point 2, but I'm wondering if there's anybody online that has, we've got more people that have arrived. I'm wondering if anybody has a website that I can actually use as an example, whether it be Christabel or Pon. I'm going to ask Christabel. Christabel, are you available online here? Christabel, can you hear me? Okay, it looks like she doesn't have her audio working or microphone. Pon, are you here, Pon?
Yes, I'm
Hello,
here.
Pon?
Yeah.
Okay, now, Pon, did we get you a point 2 website to get started?
Yes.
Okay, now, would it be okay if we logged into your website and showed how to do some of the search engine optimization, and we'll actually search engine optimize your website?
Yes, please.
Okay, what you can do in the meantime, Pon, can you get it on your screen and log into your website? In other words, you can work on getting your website onto your computer, and when you have it ready, you can let me know. In the meantime, I'm going to continue with our presentation.
Okay,
And then when you have it ready and you're logged in, I'd like you to be logged into your website.
Okay.
Are you able to do that okay?
Yes.
Okay, good show. All right, I'll be coming back to you in a moment. In the meantime, and I'll cover the contact customer care at that time as well. And we also have another major resource here called ICIWorld.com/resources. Everyone should write that down now. And while you're writing it, I'm going to have a sip of water. My break time during this session. If you could mark that down, ICIWorld.com/resources. And what that does, it gives you resources that you can check out on your own time of other people who are optimizing their websites and what they're doing to make things work. I wonder if I can, I'm going to go ahead and click on it. Hang on. There we go. And you're going to see that there actually is a PowerPoint presentation here. Reasons to work with a realtor. What a great idea of something to put on your website. You should have it on there. You know, there's 40 or 50 different things that every broker salesperson has to do for every sale. All people see is you show a property once and make $10,000, and they don't realize all the other things that you are required to do by law, by ethics, by conduct, and guidelines, safety mechanisms that are implemented to prevent against fraud, identity theft. There's a lot of things, and the public doesn't know it. So where should that information be? People, every one of you should be putting this on your website. If you don't have it, shame on you right now. So how do you do these things? Well, if you don't know how to do something with your car, and you have to have the electronic ignition fixed on your car, somebody tells you the electronic ignition on your car, you got to get it fixed. You take it to someone who can fix the electronic ignition. If you don't know how to do some of these links and the things that we're talking about today, you call us. We're sort of like a little internet doctor that can kind of help you, internet mechanic that can kind of help you do some of these things and get them fixed. And we might just make a recommendation of where to get them fixed and how to go about doing it. And if you have problems, just call us and we'll help you get up and running to make sure these things are working for you. Now, internet stats, I'm not going to go into it other than the internet is growing bigger and bigger. It's the old saying, you know, they say, you know, a realtor can make money. No, it's a realtor with technology can make money nowadays. And so that's what we're helping you do. And we're doing it in the fastest, quickest possible, easiest way. Get a website up and running. It's like a billboard. It works by itself. You don't have to go on it every single day. In fact, we recommend the minimum is just once a month. Yes, you should get on it once a month. Because if you don't, it could go dead. The domain name could be down. The links could not be working. Something could be wrong on your website. I clicked on links on brokers' websites, and it said no listings found. That was the message. No listings found. Incredible. Some things the way, don't forget, glitches can happen all the time. on the internet, so you never know what can happen. So you've got to check your website, and we recommend that you have us help you check it. We're just one source. You can ask other people too, and we look for several different things on a website to make sure it's nice and functional, and also what we call RICO compliant. That's the Real Estate Council of Ontario in Ontario, and all of your associations in any state or province that you're in, they all have guidelines for advertising, and you want to make sure that you adhere to the guidelines for advertising. Real estate lead generation resources, social media. Now let's talk briefly about social media. We could go in and we're going to have a session maybe once every 3 months strictly on social media. But if you have Facebook, let's give you an idea now how you can be promoting your website using social media and how it can fit into your marketing plans throughout the year. Every one of you has a sphere of influence. It could be 100, 200, 300 people. I mean, if you just go to a wedding, you'll see how many people attend that wedding. Well, let's say you've got 300 people that attended that wedding. That's really a sphere of influence in addition to what else you do in business. And if you have a Facebook site that you can relate to all of your friends, your family, your colleagues, and you have a Facebook site that does that, and there's interesting things flowing through it, sooner or later they end up can visit your website, and they can actually see a link on your website, a link on your Facebook to your website. And you can talk about what you have on your website from time to time, drop it in there, interesting things. And next thing you know, you're getting a little bit of traffic from your Facebook from people that know you, just check you out. And next thing you know, somebody that really knows you well says, wow, I didn't realize you had exclusive listings and you had all the MLS searchable right from your website, that you had all these resources on your website. It can actually show other people how well connected you are into the buyers. You've got lists of buyers that you can have on your website. And it says, oh my God, look at the list of 200 buyers for this, that, or the other thing that you have on your website. And it gives a profound respect for the connections that you have built up in your real estate business. And that's what they're looking for. If they're looking for the highest and best price, they want to make sure that you're connected into buyers. And that's what happens. Sometimes people are working for small brokers and big brokers. You want to show them that you've got a list of 200 buyers for these various kinds of real estate out there. And these are in some of the listings that we're supplying from ICIWorld as well. So getting the social media going and then having it connecting to your website, yes, that can be very important. And we're suggesting that having a Twitter and LinkedIn. LinkedIn, you know, every single broker should have it. No matter what, even if you don't have some of these other ones that some brokers don't have, you should definitely have LinkedIn. It's just like your business card on the internet. It shows credentials. It shows that you belong, and it should show, if you don't have it, it should show it, that you belong to the National Association of Realtors or the Canadian Real Estate Association or the Florida Real Estate Board or whatever board you belong to, Toronto Real Estate Board membership, Ontario Real Estate Association. It shows credentials that you've gone through a long series of training. It shows your expertise, your experience, and you might even put some of the clubs, the community organizations that you belong to, put that in there as well. And so when people see that on LinkedIn, and you have LinkedIn available from your website, you should even have these other organizations and things on your own website as well. It starts to humanize you. It shows that you're involved in the community and that you do various things. And, you know, people will at least give you a chance to talk to you. And then when they start talking to you, that's where you can go to work on the things that you do best, and that is to serve people. So there's some other things that you can see here. What's the fan page all about? You can read about these other things. We don't have enough time to go through all of these various resources here right now, but you know where to get them after you are finished. Okay, let's move out of here and move back. Okay, now I'm going to skip through this. Oh, here we go. That was resources. Here we go. Now, here it is, people. 7 items to the top. Mark them down. I'm going to stop here. Another drink of water. And you should be marking these down on your pad of paper. You want to have a domain name. We're going to go through a domain name, how you can make it relevant. If you can get these 8 items working on your website, bingo, you have a better chance of triggering leads for your website in what we call an organic fashion. organic fashion is different from pay-per-click. And today, just for attending this session, you're going to get a $75 credit for attending today's session just by mentioning ICIWorld and opening up a Google account. You're going to just tell them, actually how it works is Google offers everyone joining for the first time $75 free if they know about it. Well, because of this session, you now know about it. 75 bucks, you should get absolutely free to advertise with Google just by asking them for it. And you can be advertising your website with Google through pay-per-click, which we're going to cover here in a moment, how you can get to the top of the search engine, number 8, within 48 hours. And we're going to be covering that here in a moment. It's very, very exciting. But the domain name should cover, I'm suggesting that if you're in a small town, like for instance, say maybe Caledon, CaledonRealEstate.com. That would be an ideal name, but it's probably already gone. But maybe you could use CaledonRealEstateHelp.com. That's good because if Google goes out on the internet with all of their search engine spiders and algorithms is what they call it, what a name. It's a mathematical computation of coming up with results on the internet, which is being changed weekly. No one knows it. It's private to Google only, but they do tell search engine optimizers, and when I was in Las Vegas, there was 1,000 of us in this convention center, and they were speaking to us. There was the vice president of Google was there, Microsoft Corporation, Yahoo, all the major search engines were there, talking about how you should be making your websites relevant to the work and what you're trying to attract. So if you're working in Caledon, it would be wise, for instance, they might come out with their spiders checking your website and say, aha, it says Caledon in your domain name. So there's a good match, but maybe, 10,000 or whatever, I'm going to just pick a number out of the blue, 10,000 results come up for the word Caledon. But then as soon as you go Caledon Real Estate, all of a sudden it's down to 2,000. And that means it's more relevant. From Caledon to Caledon Real Estate, it's 2,000 results. Now, if we go to the page title, and the page title has Caledon and Real Estate in the page title, welcome to my website, your source for Caledon Real Estate, bingo, all of a sudden it's down to 800 results, and if another broker doesn't have that in the page title, bingo, they just got bounced. Your website goes up. And then if you put it in the meta description, and every single website in the world has these items on it, page title, meta description, keywords, etc. Those are important. So all of a sudden you've got it in the meta description and the meta keywords. All of a sudden we're down to maybe 200 or 300 websites for a small community all of a sudden. And here's one thing. I'm saying this has cost us 4,000 bucks because really a lot of people already know those first 4. But this 5th one was a surprise. Highlight the first sentence on your page in bold. Would you believe Google will search Caledon Real Estate and see if it's highlighted in italics, and if it is, if somebody else does not have it, bingo, your website will go up a little bit higher again. Next thing you're down to maybe 10 results on the page. And then if you register your domain name for 10 years rather than 1 year, they know you mean business for those keywords. Bingo, up to the top you go if you're in a small community, and you can be right up there in top. But in addition to that, they'll check your website to see if you've got social media, and if you've got your Facebook and Twitter and Google Plus, got to get it on there. Get those things on there, and next thing you know, you're getting all the brownie points that Google's machines check out, computer machines and spiders and all that stuff. And they check out your website, and you've got all those items clicking for yourself, bingo, you have a chance to come up in a natural fashion. Now, they also look at other things like links to your website as well. We're going to talk about that in a moment. But those are the basic items. If you don't even have these, you have no chance of getting right to the top right away, unless you're pay-per-click, and then don't matter what you do, you can get to the top because you're giving them money to do it. And that's what Google's doing. They are playing everybody in every industry against themselves. They're getting you online to compete with other people in the real estate industry who's going to pay the most to get to the top of the search engines, and they're doing that for every single industry. No wonder they just keep making money and money and money. But you know, the bottom line is, if you get to the top of the search engine, whether it's pay-per-click or this way, if you're not getting any leads from your website, I don't care what Google says, there's something wrong. There is something wrong. People can tell you you're getting, 1 million traffic or 1 million of this, or you're at the top of this, you're at the top of that. Did you make money? I'm a broker for over 40 years here, and with ICIWorld, and I know one thing. They can tell me all they want, but if there's nobody calling you from your website, there is something wrong. You could be spending $100, $200, $300 a month. If you're not getting calls or doing deals, there is something wrong. You've got to be getting the leads. That's the bottom line as far as I'm concerned. Now, up until now, it may not have been that way because people could have been going to your website and they didn't see listings, or they saw the listings but they saw the address. They're going to the other brokers. That's possible, but not with the links from ICIWorld. That's where the rubber meets the road. People have to call you for more information as long as they're seeing it. Okay, now, pay-per-click, 48 hours to the top. Let's talk about that. It's possible, and I'm going to do, let me just see, there was a couple of questions that were coming in here. Oh, yes, GTAHomeForSale.com. Thank you, Pon, very much for that. Let me just see if I can go do that now. In fact, we'll demonstrate this right now if we can. Pon, are you online? GTA, wait a minute, where did I put it? See if I can, doesn't want to copy there, hang on. Is it in the chat window?
Yes.
Okay, that's GTAHomeForSale.com. Okay, I got it. GTAHomeForSale.com. Let's press enter here. See what we come up with. Okay, now, did I get it right, Pon?
Yes, yes. Close this
Is
one.
this the point two? Is this the point two website?
This one has to be closed.
There's something totally wrong here.
It's
I was looking for the point two. Oh, point two agent professional. Oh my God, there's some real issues here. Deal of the month, and then all of this stuff up here. Hang on one second. Oh, it is a point two website. What's all this stuff up here, Pon?
I don't know. I called
Okay,
them.
so it looks like there's a little bit of work here to do to fix that. Okay, now what I'm going to do, you actually have the professional website. Hang on one second here. I'm going to switch the computer over to you, Pon. One second here. I'm going to make you the presenter here. Can you show your screen, Pon, please? Are you able to show your screen? Pon? There should be a message on your screen that says show my screen.
Yeah.
If you could show your screen, please. Click on it. Yeah, good show. Oh, perfect, perfect, perfect. I'm now going to request keyboard and mouse control as well. If you could give that, please. Okay, thank you. And you can now take your hand off the mouse a moment. Now I'm going to try to go control and a plus sign and see if it made it a little bit larger. Okay. All right. Thank you, Pon, very much for this. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I want to get back to your main home page, and the home page you've got here is hidden, right?
Yeah.
But I'm going to why you've got the home page hidden, I'm not sure. Do you have a reason for that?
Not really.
This is your home page where it says welcome to your source in real estate, and all of this should have your name and everything on it. So there's some issues there with the home page. So I can see you've been playing with it quite a bit and having some fun with it, right?
Yeah.
But the home page is actually not even showing.
Yeah.
So I'm suggesting that you should have this home page showing. Hang on one second. If I go to page settings here, okay, these are the settings that everyone has for their website. Every setting that you see here, everyone has that. Everyone that has a website has this. And typically, the home page is the home page. Now, I know Pon's done some experimenting and playing around with his website. And if you want my help, Pon, I'm happy to kind of help you and get it organized a little bit there. If you wish it, I'm happy to help you. But in the page title, I want to ask you, where do you do most of your work?
Richmond Hill.
Richmond Hill. So you notice how Pon has Richmond Hill in his page title. Okay, and there it is, Richmond Hill area homes. Okay, so he's got that in there, and you know, you might even put homes for sale in here, because if somebody searches Richmond Hill homes for sale, and you have homes for sale right in your page title, that could actually help. Richmond Hill homes for sale. And then condos and commercial real estate is fine. Now, people could search condos for sale, and you've got it. You got condos and you got for sale. It's all in the domain name. That's okay. But you got Richmond Hill homes for sale, and that is wonderful. And then go to the next one, the meta description, and do the same thing there. Richmond Hill homes for sale. In fact, you can copy that, yes, and copy that into the meta description. Excellent. Now people search that exact phrase, bingo, it's a match. Bingo, it's a match in the meta description, and bingo, put it in the meta keywords too. And so for that particular search term, this is getting more powerful. I'm going to suggest you go down to the bottom and say OK. Just waiting for that to take effect there. Now the problem, of course, is that this page is hidden and it's not even showing. So do you want to bring this welcome page back, Pon, or do you want to leave it? You have something else going on.
You bring it back, yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to go to home. Go ahead, bring it back up and put it right. That's it. Put it right there. Click on preview down. Holy smokes! Hang on. That's better. Yeah. And just leave it like this for now, and I'll help you later. Okay.
Okay.
I don't want to get into designing of the website, which is another subject matter, usually done one-on-one with every member, and you can apply the changes up at the top. In the green button up at the top, click on Apply Changes, please, Pon. Good show. Okay, so now the next thing that we're going to do, and we're just waiting for that to take effect, I'm going to go back now, and I'm also going to edit the content on the front. Now I'm clicking on it,
Okay.
and you're going to see, I'm going to put it up here. I'm going to say, welcome to my website, your source for Richmond Hill homes for sale. Now I'm not going to put all the rest of this stuff in there, because in the essence of time, I just want to get something going right now. Hang on one second. And I'm going to do one more thing. I'm going to highlight it all, and I'm going to make it in bold. And then I want to make the printing a little bit bigger than normal. And I might put it at 16 on this one here, and then click OK.
Should fix up welcome as well, Gary.
Yeah, I know I made the mistake, and you're absolutely right. And I haven't done it exactly correct, but my purpose is actually to show everyone how to fish, not actually doing it. And I'm going to spend time with Pon afterwards and fix it all up some more. But do you see how we bolded it and put it in, we bolded it and made it a little higher font than this other font that's down here. And so Google will actually check that out on the page. And they'll check out all those different various 8 items and check it out on the page. All right. Now I'm going to go back to Office up here. And on the websites that we supply, which is these websites here, you'll notice that there's some handshakes here that are not done. There's, I think that number, what's it show, 20 other brokers who have agreed to allow their listings to be on your website. If you don't update those, customers who visit your website are actually missing seeing listings, and you don't even, it's good to update those on a regular basis. But this website also has a question mark up here, which I'm going to click on, and you're going to notice that it says contact customer care, and there's a nice help center. There's a blog here. You can follow them on Twitter, and you can do all of this stuff here. And I'm going to click on the help center, and you'll notice that there's webinars and resources here that they actually help everyone with as well. And someplace in here, it's how to promote your website. Exactly where it is, I don't know. But there's a way that you can be getting information on how to promote your website. They've got a lot of great ideas in this website here someplace. Help and frequently asked questions. Maybe it's here. How to promote your website. Can you see it here any place? Exactly where it is, I'm not sure. How to Facebook. It's around here someplace. They've got changes here that are occurring all the time, and it's different from where I was used to getting it from them before. But I want to thank you, Pon, for kind of showing that stuff to me. I'm going to switch the computer now back to me. Let's see if it's this one here. Make myself the presenter. Here we go. And we should be back to my page and get back to the PowerPoint. And we have about 15 minutes to complete this session for today. And let's get right into, now I'm going to have to just zip through to where we were, so pardon the screen flashing across your screen there. We got to resources. We've covered, these are the big ticket 8 items that you should have all marked down on your screen as the main reasons to fix up search engine optimization on your own website. Every website has these items. Okay, let's move on. We do have some link references of how to mark. Oh, here's where I had it written down from before. Let's see if it's here. Yes, it's coming up. There we go. Market your website from point 2. Look at all the nice things that they have there. Registering your domain name, adding listings to your website. They're saying the same thing. Promoting your website in offline mediums and all these various ways, for instance. But you know, when you advertise in a newspaper, for instance, newspaper ads such as right here, we're recommending that when you advertise your one listing that you're trying to promote and sell right away in your community, that at the bottom of the ad, you put another little 2 lines that says, visit my website, www. whatever it is, and that you have thousands of listings on your website, residential and commercial, exclusive and MLS. I would do both. I would say that on your website. That way, if they go to see the one listing and it's not exactly what they want, they might find something else on your website that they like, all because you added it to the bottom of your newspaper ad. So those are little things that you can be doing. Oopsie daisy, that's the wrong one. Let's go back here. And I can never seem to get back to the exact page that I was on. Isn't that something? It takes me right back to the beginning all the time. 7 items to the top, link references, here we go. Let's continue on. Okay, what are other ways to promote your website here? Well, we've already covered this. Driving traffic to your website is very profitable. And everyone listening in, if you have some ideas, I'd like to hear about those afterwards as well, and maybe to be included in future. But start handing out more of your business cards. You bet. Inform people about what you've got on your website. And if they want information, just to give you a call, and you should be giving them good service. If you don't give them good service, you wonder why they don't call back. The key is to tell them what you've got on your website. I think we've covered that. So in summary for today's session, I'm going to cover some of the items and summarize what we've got. going here. Get visitors to add their website to their mobile phone. Yes, you can actually stand in your open house and get them to add your website to their mobile phone. It's just a matter of telling them to open up the internet, whether it's Safari or Google Chrome, while they're with you on your open house, and then they type in your website, and bingo, up comes your beautiful website, and they can search from your website. Walking all the businesses downtown in your shopping area, we've talked about that, handing out your business card, letting them know that you're in real estate, serving the area, and ask them, here's a great question that you should ask every single one. Are you thinking of buying or selling any real estate in the next 1 to 5 years? Are you thinking? This is doing a survey. This is not saying, you know, make sure you call me and all that stuff and coming on them. It's just saying, listen, I'm doing a survey, just wondering if there's anyone looking to buy or sell any kind of real estate in the next 1 to 5 years. That will open them right up. Next thing you know, they're saying, you know, as a matter of fact, my daughter's looking to buy a condo next month, and they're just getting ready to start looking. And bingo, you can talk to them about what it is that you can do to kind of help them, and they can consider you. And that's all from the one question. Tell them you work the area and you want to make yourself available, and get ideas from them, everyone you meet. And we talked about ads in a newspaper. You can be doing these kinds of things, letting people know that you have buyers. People might be more inclined to list with you as well. Domain names, yep, that's one of the big 5. I'm going to change that to the big 8. Placing meta tags and keywords on your website, we've talked about that. Now let's cover the sponsored ads. You can actually get to the top of the search engine literally within 48 hours. Now, when I go with that, that's, how come oh, I see, it still left me at that other page here. I got to try to figure back to get, that's the page that I want to get back to next time, faster and quicker. But let's go to Google, and let's look up Richmond Hill real estate, which is maybe what some people might search in the case of Pon, who we were just helping a moment ago. And there's the websites that are coming up. There's Point 2 Homes coming up right there too, the websites we're working with. Now, what we're suggesting, you're going to see over here, this says the word ad over here on the left. This says the word ad there. And then over here, it says these are all ads. People are paying for all of these ads on the right-hand side over here. York Region Home. Now, whatever amount of money that was paid by this person, that just came off their budget because I clicked on that ad. So let's say that it was 50 cents a click. That was 50 cents that just come off that person's budget for York Region Home. So if you had a budget, let's say of $100 or $300, let's just say $300 a month or $200 a month for advertising, and if I clicked on that and it would say $300, that means you have $299.50 left for the month after I clicked on it. Now, these people here, nothing has come off their budget, nothing. In other words, to appear at the top up here is absolutely free. There is no charge to have information come up, your website, to have it come up at the top on your page. It's absolutely free. There's no charge until someone actually clicks on your ad. Now, if you were bidding 50 cents and you had $300, that means that you get about 600 clicks is what's going to happen. 600 clicks to come up. So if somebody does any search at all, and if it's $1 a click and you had $300, after 300 clicks, your budget is going to be gone for the month. And you better set a budget too, because if you don't, your credit card could end up going over $300 to the more and more and more clicks. So you got to be careful on that. But you can set a budget with Google and say have a stop it at $300 or $100, whatever you want, and they'll talk to you about that. Now, I have a question for each of you. If someone, let's say upon your website was right there, and somebody clicked on it, and then you ended up showing that property, and you end up making $20,000, was it worth it? Of course, the answer is yes. So for $1 for that one click, it was worth it. Now, would it be worth it if it was $4? The answer actually is yes, because if you could have somebody click on that link over there and it cost you $4, but then you made $20,000, obviously it's worth it. So in other words, some people used to say, I would never pay more than 10 or 20 cents a click or 30 cents a click or something like that. It's really not a function of the 20 or 30 cents for real estate. Real estate provides the highest return on investment of any industry. You're not selling a small ticket item. You're selling a big ticket item. So I think that all our members should be doing some pay-per-click, every single one. Why? Because if somebody clicks on it, and if your website is set up properly, bingo, you're going to start making money, because at least you're going to be getting leads if people are coming to your website. And if you're getting the leads, that's all we can do from ICIWorld and from Google and everybody else, is to trigger the leads. It's going to be up to you now to kind of convert those people into good business relationships by developing good business relationships into long-term customers. So that's sort of how pay-per-click works, a very sort of generic overview of getting to the top of the search engine literally within 48 hours by having a budget. Now, you $75, as you remember, I'm giving to you, and you know, you could end up in that first $75 getting some pay-per-click responses on your website. Next thing you know, you sell a house and make $5,000. That's what this session today is all about, is to having you trigger those kinds of leads and making some money, providing good services, and you should be doing it every 90-day period. You should be generating leads. As we wind down, we got about 4 minutes over. More to go. Let's just finish off here and carry on. We're just about done. Oopsie days, I got to go down here and click on this. Get your there's your $75 of free ads. There it is there. And there's also some search tools that they will provide to you to do the search engine optimization. So you can open an account with Google without spending money. You can open an account and say, I'd like to see how you search keywords. And you're going to get a tool from Google that's going to show you how to search keywords. Instead of you having to do it yourself 100%, you can do it in conjunction with Google and come up with the best keywords to service your community. You know, if you search Kingston, that's going to bring up Kingston, Jamaica, Kingston, Ontario. It's not going to help you. If you did Kingston real estate, it's still going to bring up Kingston, Jamaica real estate. You have to learn the keywords that are going to zero in on what drives business for you in your area. In Toronto, it's too big an area now. You get lost in the crowd and other people are already doing it. But let's say you work High Park area only, or Meadowvale in Mississauga. You can put those words of those neighborhoods. You're going to get a lot smaller response. Instead of getting 1 million or 50,000, you might only get 1,000, and then it zeroes down to a few hundred. You only need 1 or 2 people searching those specific keywords to get a client and go sell a house and make $50,000 if it's a commercial building, or 10 or 20 grand if it's a house. So, you know, it's worth doing pay-per-click advertising, but monitor it. If you've done advertising for 3 months and you haven't made any money, stop. Give me a call, and if you want, I will even do a conference call, you, me, and Google, and go in and say, listen, there's something wrong. We've got to find out why you're not getting the leads. You get to the bottom of it, and you will get the leads. There's AdWords Help. If I was to click on there, you're going to see that you're going to getting this kind of stuff, the best practice out of AdWords from Google's advertising program. I can't get into it right now. It's just too involved, and we're just ready to finish in about another couple of minutes here. Let's continue on. Okay, home pages are like billboards. Another concept is you can have more than one website And technical people will even say you could have 5 websites, and they can all be optimized for different things, to do different things. And next thing you know, you can be triggering leads for different items, and you can link the websites together as well. That can help you, so that way you only need one name on your business card, and when they go there, they can see your other websites. And then you put, whenever time you send out an email, make sure you put your website address in your email, so if people want to check you out, they can. There's some other things that you can be doing. You know, when people are immigrating to different countries, sometimes they go to their local embassies of the country they're going to and start to check it out. And those embassies are linking to the economic development agencies and city halls, and they might research it. And if you're listed, and it's a free listing for you to get yourself listed in your local town hall as a business operating in that area, because they are there to help every business in your city. Get yourself listed in there as a great source for residential and commercial real estate. Doing a fax multicast, and I don't know too many people doing it, but I'll tell you, when they were doing it, the people keep their faxes for a long time. You'd be surprised. You know, they come out of the fax machine on the floor, and the person sits them in a tray, and next thing you know, if they're thinking of buying or selling, you say, oh, remember that fax come in from that real estate fellow? Maybe he can give me an idea of the price of my property. And you can do a newsletter, too, by email, sending that out on a regular basis. Information in your area, new things happening, what are the interest rates, idea of what's being sold, all that kind of thing, and topical interests. So that's like a newsletter email multicast that you can be doing. Join other groups, and by you know, socializing and business socializing with them, handing out your business card, letting them know about your website. This is another great way to do it as well. Joining groups, chambers of commerce, network your sites to lawyers and accountants, and you can do linking to them and get them to kind of link to you as well. So it's sort of contra-linking back and forth, where they can drive information and people to your website and vice versa. Social media, yeah, get them all working. That's going to help you. It's going to trigger leads for you, and it's going to help people go check you out and see who they're going to be dealing with, because they want to know, because in other countries they don't have organized real estate like you do here. So make sure you have all your organized real estate accreditations on all your websites, and make sure you have links to your websites from all your social media. You could take out ads, such as in billboard ads, and some brokers are doing that as well. Down in the U.S., we see them on billboard signs. And study the keywords, and you can use the tool that Google's going to give you directly, and maybe next session, next month, we'll get right into that tool and actually do them. Okay, be realistic. Don't try to trick the search engines because you can actually get bounced out of there, so don't try to trick them. Don't overdo it. Finding keywords for your website. Make it relevant. That's the key thing, is to make it relevant. And there are some things that you can be doing with SEO design. Again, check with Google, and you can also check with us later and to do that. Find reputable sites to link to you and vice versa. And I know that major sites like your real estate boards and different sites, link them back and forth, try to get listed in as many places as you can. Reciprocal links is what it's called. There's an example of some of them now that can give you an idea of what to link to. You know, you get enough traffic going to your website, you can actually start to sell advertising to your website. And a lot of people do sell advertising on their websites, and to actually make money, you know, charge a local automobile dealership $500 and, you know, to put an ad on your website and see if it triggers leads for them. People buy cars and stuff like that. They can be doing it through your website. There's a presentation on domain names, which is a little bit more involved, trying to get the keywords like real estate and your local community and local neighborhoods into a domain name. You can have more than one domain name pointed to the same website. Although it's helpful to point it to a separate page, you can do those kinds of things. So call anytime. That summarizes what we've been doing here today. I'm going to finish off here shortly. Don't try to trick the search engines. There was a time when people were trying to trick the search engines, and other people used to try to click on your link that comes up and use up your budget. If they click 300 times and used up $300 worth of your budget, you would drop down and they would pop up. So there's been some competitive things going on here, what we're talking about. But Google's removed that by tracking the IP address, so that once you click, you can't click on it again and again and again and use up somebody's budget. And no member should go longer than 90 days without either doing business. This is how you measure all the stuff that you've been doing with us here this morning. At the very minimum, developing good business relationships with people that you feel will lead to doing deals someday. We have a nice checklist online right on our login member management page. You'll get to it. Just click on our page. There's a good checklist for all of this good stuff. And if you're stuck longer than 5 or 8 minutes trying to do anything with your membership, give us a call. Now, one of the things that I'm going to do, besides claiming your coupon that you can get from Google, there will be a survey that you will get afterwards, and you'll actually get a copy of this, actually last month's session that we're doing. You'll get a copy of this session by email, last month's session, and there'll be a survey somewhere along the line that you'll get there as well. But one of the things I wanted to do is we do have a special today to actually join ICIWorld, because there's some people online that haven't joined ICIWorld, and we're calling it the Black Friday Special. If I can get to it here, let's try to bring it up, and you'll see there it is. It's on the right-hand side, one-day Black Friday Special till midnight tonight. If people wish to join for $240, they can do so, and all you have to do is click on this one right here when you do, and then just fill in your card information, and you can actually join. Once you join, you'll actually end up doing what other brokers do. You can come right here to Login Member Management, down here on the right-hand side, and you can actually order the widgets for your website right now. And there's the widgets. It's number 8 right there. You click on Order the ICIWorld widgets, and just fill in this particular form, and bingo, we will send you the widgets immediately. You get your website designer to install the widgets on your website, and then promote your website. I wouldn't promote a website until you got the widgets, because you could be losing people and sort of wasting money. That's it for today. I'm going to stop our session right now, and that concludes our session. If anybody's interested in any of our services right here, you can contact us by clicking on the contact page at ICIWorld.com. But whatever you do, make sure you add the ICIWorld.mobi to your website. That concludes our session for today. Thank you all for attending, and I'm going to sign off right now, if I can figure out where to do it. Session is being recorded. It was under that issue all the time here. I'm going to open it up for questions to everyone else that's staying. Okay, I've just restarted the recording because something really interesting has been brought up on the pay-per-click. We've done a search here for some words, and you'll notice that the results come up. There's actually no pay-per-click ads here at all. If there are no pay-per-click ads for the words that you're using, you can actually bid as low as 20 cents, maybe 10 cents. I'm not sure, because I've never bid that low lately myself. Our service, we're bidding higher. But say it was 20 cents a click, that means for 5 clicks is only $1, and you're going to be right at the top. This is great if there's no competition. It's when there's competition that you have to start bidding more. Anyways, just wanted to throw that in from ICIWorld in completing the seminar recording.